Hey, this is Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe. You're listening to Collision, and that's on Voice FM. Hello, Whit Crane here.
Hi, Whit. It's Kat. How are you?
I'm good. Life is good.
Awesome. How's everything going with you and Ugly Kid Joe right now?
It's pretty cool. We put the band back together. We released some music in, 2012. We weren't sure what would happen. Like, would anybody still remember the band? Would people go to the shows? So we were kind of a little scared but very excited to go do it. And then we found out that people did remember the band and they do like, the songs and that. And so we've been touring for 5 years around the world and, going to different places that we've never been to. So all these like crazy different places. So it's good. And it's also, we were all best friends years ago. And then we stopped making music together. And we remain friends, but we're missing that component, which is music and touring. That really, is a special thing. It's hard to put into words, but we've been doing that again. So, and people have gone on and had families and different bands and different careers or whatever. But when you say, how is it? It's really cathartic and cool. And it's nice to see everybody again, and it's nice to be creative with these guys. So in the land of Ugly Kid Joe, all is well.
And as you said, you did reform, but a lot of that was based on the fact that you released that debut album, which is now 25 years old.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a record called American Most Wanted 25 years ago, produced by Mark Dodson, who's an amazing Englishman, and we love that guy. And, we made that record. We had no idea what we were doing. And we toured around the world with this. For 2 years. That thing took us around the world for 2 years. And what a crazy, there's stories to be told inside that. But one of our favorite places to play, and one of our places to play is Australia. We're doing a tour to celebrate the album, 25-year anniversary of the album. And we're starting it off in, Sydney, Australia on December 3rd. And we end up in Melbourne, Australia on December 9th. So we're going to take that around the world. In April, we'll go do Europe with it. And then we'll go from there. But, it's a wild ride to tell you that, that I would ever say 25 years ago that in 25 years I'd be talking about this album and a tour. I would have been like, you're crazy. But here we are.
Yeah. I guess like one thing that I know personally I've always wondered, the song Everything About You, was that written about a specific person?
Yeah.
And how has that sort of carried on through your life, having to remember that person for 25 years?
Oh, that person is one of my best friends. Klaus Eichstadt, my best friend and the left-handed guitar player in Ugly Kid Joe, he's the brains behind the cynicism of the band, and he's a great songwriter. So we all grew up together in a town called Palo Alto, California, which is Northern California. Mm-hmm. And the best friends were myself, Klaus, and this guy named Farrell, Farrell. And Farrell is the muse of that song. It's about him. And to this day, he's a wonderful cynic. Like, if I'm going to tell you why something's great, he'll tell you why it sucks.
Oh, right.
But he's not a dick in the sense of, like, he's not negative or, you want to be around him because he's hilarious. So the song's just about, Klaus using the muse of his best friend and the angle of how his best friend and my best friend, Farrell, looked at the world. He's still my best friend. Our moms are best friends. My sister's best friend is his sister. So, that's about Farrell.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Obviously I didn't realise that, so it's nice to know.
There you go.
Yeah. You're coming to Australia. Like you said, you're going to tour this around the world, but Australia's the first place you're coming to with it. And is it just going to be the album in full, or are you playing some of your newer tracks, some of your old favourites off other albums?
We'll do the album in full for sure. But we're going to do, for sure, we're going to go cherry pick killer songs from the catalog. We'll jam with various artists on stage. It'll be something a little different every show. I'm not quite sure what it'll be. And we'll go rehearse in late November in LA and figure it all out, Right. But for sure, we'll play the album and then we'll jam some other cuts from various records that we've made.
You said you're going to have other people on stage. Well, I know you have spent quite a bit of time with one of the Australian bands touring over in the UK, Hail Mary. Is there a chance we're going to see Kev pop up on stage or something at some stage?
You never know if Hail Mary might end up there. You never know if Dallas Frasca might end up there. You never know if Tim McMillan might end up there. You never know if Ross Wilson might end up there.
All right.
So you never know.
Well, Dallas Frasca are, of course, doing the tour with you.
Right. But, I to be honest with you, like, I'm always pushing for community. Like, I like jamming with people, and I like a musical community. That's why I like Australia so much. There's a full-on music scene here and a great musical community. So for the tour, we have Dallas, who, we all admire her. She's a badass entity. She's a great human being, but a really powerful and intimidating singer. And with her great guitar player, Jeff Kern. I mean, he's a magic dude. Then you have Tim McMillan, who's basically an actual minstrel, and he's insanely brilliant. So imagine if you put us all in a room, which you've already been in, and imagine maybe we'll every now and then we'll go jam towards the end of the show and go make something special, something that's never been done. So that's kind of what I see. I don't have any exacting words for you, like what it would exactly be, but I have my intent, which is we should all jam together and rock out, really.
Yeah, it sounds like, you're talking about your tour, but it sounds to me more like you're planning some kind of like reunion holiday with your mates.
That's right. It's a tour. My thing, look, I've been in this game long enough to know, like when I was a kid, I didn't know quite what I wanted or what it was. So you kind of get used up and people will kind of, tell you what to do. And that's fair. And I needed that at that time. But I don't need that now at all. Like, I know exactly what I want. In an easy wording, I want a good experience. I want to go do my art, which happens to be, music, and I want to have a good time doing it. And that's it. So I want to surround myself by, and I will, surround myself by cool people that you want to work with, that you want to get a coffee with, that you want to play music with. And, at the end of the day, that will bleed into the fans that come to a show. They can see that. It's just because it's one big team, really. If you're on stage playing to an empty room, you're on stage playing to an empty room. So if you think about it objectively, the crowd is the most important thing in the room. Mm-hmm. So imagine if all the infrastructure of the bands or whatever's going on backstage to the stage is solid and powerful and filled with good energy, that's just going to infect the crowd. And then it just goes back and forth and you have a good experience. So that's my eye on the prize, without a doubt.
I was just going to ask you actually, like what advice you would give, a young musician starting out. But it sounds to me like what you just said about the crowd being the most important people in the room might be like the best advice I've heard from somebody without having to ask for it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It sounds like you've got a really good and fun attitude. I know that like Ugly Kid Joe broke up in 97 and then didn't reform again till 2010, and you've done some other bands and a tiny bit of acting in that, but like, is there something outside of music that you do?
Well, I don't live anywhere, so like I have a backpack and I have a credit card and a passport. So what I really do is I'm a minimalist, and I'm not against material items at all. Mm-hmm. If you like stuff, go get your stuff. That's great. What I like to do is go to different places in the world and see the culture and go meet the people and hopefully make some kind of art form. Mm. So I guess that's what I do. That's all I've done for 25 years, really. Sometimes I'll get a girlfriend. Sometimes I'll think, hey, maybe I should have a girlfriend and make a family and do all that. And I'll go get a girlfriend and I'll go get an apartment or whatever it is. And then that hasn't worked yet. I'm still open to it working, but it certainly hasn't worked yet. But I'm happiest just kind of wandering around the earth with a backpack.
You're a seeker. You're still seeking something.
That's true.
Yeah.
I've been called a seeker before.
And I do want to ask what else you're currently doing. But first, I came across something. Do you actually perform with Motorhead in Europe somewhere? I've
performed with Motorhead like 25 times around the world. You might be talking about on July 4th, 2014, I was on the Motorhead tour bus, just kind of hanging out with them. I wasn't on tour, but I was on tour with them. And about every third show, they'd say, do you want to come and sing a song with us? And I'd say, oh, yeah, please. And I would always sing Killed by Death.
Right.
And so we're at Hyde Park, and the bill was, it was the best bill. It was the band Soulfly played, then Motorhead, then Faith No More, then Soundgarden, then Black Sabbath.
Right.
And Phil Campbell's like, is this the show you want to play? Because I heard of these shows, but I'd never seen it, and it's massive. And I said, of course, I was shaking. I would love to sing with you at Hyde Park. So you wouldn't ask Lemmy, and Lemmy was, of course. So that's one of the many times I performed with them. But to me, like, what an honor, and there's Lemmy up there going, Whitfield Crane. They hand me a microphone. I'm like, no way. So yeah.
And you've got a very close connection to Godsmack somehow too.
I do. Shannon Larkin, the Ugly Kid Joe drummer, he went on after Ugly Kid Joe and he joined Godsmack.
All right.
Godsmack is a very popular band, I think mainly in America. And but in 2007, I got a call from Shannon. He said, "Do you want to come sing on a record?" And I'm on, "What record?" And he's like, "It's called Another Animal, and it's with all the guys in Godsmack." So those guys just kind of wanted to spread their wings, I guess, and go do something besides Godsmack, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Can you be here in a week?" And I said, "Yeah." So I flew to Boston and I tracked a full-length record. The band's called Another Animal. Then we went on tour with Alter Bridge for a bit, and that was that. But it's a great record for any of your listeners or whatever we're doing right now. It's cool. 2007, Another Animal.
Awesome. Well, I will go on now and ask, other than Ugly Kid Joe, do you currently have another performing band?
Yes. I created a band with Jeff Kern, the guitar player from Dallas Frasca. It's called Yellow Cake. We tracked a 4-song EP in St. Kilda at a studio called Hot House Studios.
Right, yeah.
It features, on that record, it features Ross Wilson, it features Dallas Frasca, and it's crushing. It's a bit Sabbathy, Caius-ish, if you needed to, like what does it sound like? It sounds kind of like that. It's crushing. And then I have another project. I lived in Verona, Italy about 2 years ago, year and a half ago,
mm-hmm.
and I ended up fronting an orchestra, and the orchestra is called Orchestra of Doom,
mm-hmm.
and it's a 34-piece orchestra with no electric guitars, and I basically ended up hanging out with a bunch of orchestral players, and I met this incredible conductor, and his name's he's young and badass, and his name's Andrea Battistoni. He transcribed old school Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath songs to Baroque music, and we went and sang it in this theater called the Restored Theater. So we filmed that on 7 cameras. It just got mastered today, so I'll have that out, I don't know, in the next 6 months. Both Yellow Cake and Orchestra of Doom will be out, I would hope, in the next 6 months.
That is awesome. And if people actually go to facebook.com/official Whitfield Crane, then I'm sure you will be posting about those bands so that we can find them easy.
I haven't posted one thing about it. I'm just telling you.
I mean, as the releases and that are coming out, I'm sure you'll be posting about them, yeah?
Yes, that's exactly true. No,
yeah.
It's just right now. It's just between you and me.
Okay, and we won't tell anybody else. But it sounds to me like you actually do spend quite a bit of time in Australia. So obviously you do love it down here.
I'm in Australia right now.
Oh, right. Oh, awesome. In St Kilda?
No, I'm actually in Fitzroy.
All right.
I live in St Kilda for 3 months, January 18th for 3 months, and then now I'm hanging my hat in Fitzroy. And I really have an affinity for Melbourne and Australia in general. It's my kind of people for sure.
Awesome. And when you did record the album America's Least Wanted 25 years ago, when you wrote the album, you had no idea that anyone would even know who Ugly Kid Joe were. So, I mean, when you look back over the last 25 years, what's your biggest pinch me moment?
I guess when we got the Ozzy Osbourne Motorhead tour, you know, we went from driving around in the States playing, we were opening for a band called Scatterbrain, and they called us Hungry Kid Joe because they wouldn't give us food, and it was hilarious. And remember that at that time it was the MTV time. So if you got a video on the MTV station, you would all of a sudden sell records and people would know you. So we were out there, but we didn't know our video was getting played. And then the room started filling up, and then all of a sudden we got a call from Sharon Osbourne, and that said, "Hey, do you guys want to tour with us on the No More Tours tour in '92?" And the lineup was Ugly Kid Joe, Motorhead, and Ozzy Osbourne. And if you're talking about a pinch me moment, that's the moment.
Awesome. The life-changing moment. Your life was never to be the same again.
That's true.
Yeah. Is there something you would like to say to your Aussie fans about the tour and the album, of course?
Well, it's a bit surreal that it's been 25 years. We're grateful in a lot of different ways. But if you want to see a kick-ass rock and roll show, come check it out. 25-year anniversary, American Least Wanted, Ugly Kid Joe, Dallas Frasca, Tim McMillan. Come on down.
Can I actually ask, you're going to perform the whole album. Are you going to be telling some maybe stories about where the songs originated from? Like
storytellers? I doubt it.
No, just a show, just a gig.
But the way, it's funny enough, the way I work as an artist is that's a good idea. I've never even thought about it. Like, what a great idea. Yeah. I remember when we were writing this song, maybe it's a new component of the show. I'm totally open to flow. So that's a good idea.
Well, I think even with everything about you, people would like to know that it's not actually about someone you literally hate. We don't know.
It's about a hater.
Yeah, it's about a hater, not someone you hate. That's good. And he's in your band and your best mate, so we can all hate on him together. No. We can all love him together.
There you go.
And you are, as you said, like you've got Ugly Kid Joe back together and you have released new music with them. Are you planning another new Ugly Kid Joe album?
I think that's innate. I mean, the guitar player Dave Fortman, he's a really celebrated producer. That's what, after Ugly Kid Joe ended, he went on to be this badass producer. Mm-hmm. And so within the band's matrix, we can just go do it at the drop of a hat. So when Dave has time, it kind of just shows itself, right? So yeah, the intent's there. We'll always go make new music, but it really comes down to when there's space for Dave to do it and everybody has space to go meet him at the studio in Louisiana and go do that. So I would think that we'll go do that hypothetically in 2018 sometime, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been so amazing to finally get a chance to actually talk to you.
Oh, cool. I'm grateful too. Thank you for your time.
Look forward to this tour, which I will tell people is starting on the 3rd of December in Sydney.
3rd.
And the 4th you're in Brisbane, the 6th in Perth, the 7th in Adelaide, and then on the 9th you are, I'm going to say this, you are back in your hometown of Melbourne at the Croxton Band Room.
These are factual statements.
Yeah. And the tickets are from Destroy All Lines. And you do have a website, which, there it is, uglykidjoe.net is the website. And you are Ugly Kid Joe, the band, on Facebook. And you, of course, are official Whitfield Crane on Facebook. And I really look forward to America's Least Wanted 25-year anniversary tour and to having a chance to say hi. And
great. Thank you so much.
It's great talking to you on the same timeline. You have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.